Hey, it's John with Vision Advisors. Welcome to another Insight with Vision. I want to take an opportunity to share with you a conversation I've had with several producers of late, talking about who gets paid what and understanding indexed annuity compensation. There's only so many ways that you can actually carve up the turkey. And inside any insurance contract, there's specific cost elements that have to be factored into how the insurance company actually prices its products in the marketplace. There's administrative mortality cost. There's an upfront bonus that you may see factored into the equation as well. There's policyholder interest crediting on the policy itself. And then, of course, outside of the different ways that interest crediting may be paid out, there's producer compensation. That's your commissions. So let's break those down just a little bit. Administrative and mortality cost, when premium dollars are paid in, a part of that money is carved out to provide and pay for the operational cost of running the insurance company, any required reserving by the state, making sure that they've got mortality taken care of and appropriate protections for the consumer, and then a nominal profit on each policy on behalf of the insurance company itself. Now, the upfront bonus, if there's one available to the client, that's a positive. That's money back to them in the form, in essence, of an advance of future earnings. This may or may not have a vesting schedule, and the client may use this money to offset a surrender penalty from another insurance product that may be underperforming, or maybe they have a very narrow window of time before they need to begin to create a guaranteed income payment stream, and they're using an upfront bonus to kind of jumpstart that growth opportunity. Commissions, again, are a negative in terms of premium dollars paid in, because the insurance company is going to pay the producer compensation for selling the product, and they're going to subject the policyholder to a surrender period of time so that they have an opportunity to recoup some of those costs, as well as an opportunity for the financial investments to generate the policyholder crediting to actually have an opportunity to do what those investments need to do. Now, policyholder crediting is what? It's the interest payments to the policyholder contract itself. But it's important to remember there's only so much room at the table, and everybody's got to eat. And if one person at one seat at the table eats way too much, or two or three people eat way too much, there may be little, if any, left over for somebody sitting at the table. And the last person we want to have that happen to is the consumer. Now, when we think about the money that has to be divvied up from gross policy returns, the section in purple represents administrative, mortality cost, and nominal profit to the carrier. But the major items, again, are going to be, if there's an upfront bonus, of course, agent compensation, and the opportunity to create a rate of return for the client based upon either a fixed rate of return or an index crediting strategy with rates and cap limitations imposed thereupon. But what happens if the client comes in and says, I want a product with a big upfront bonus, or you as a producer like the idea of pitching a big upfront bonus? If you're going to sell a big upfront bonus, we have to put more turkey on that particular plate, which is going to leave less money available for agent compensation, and it's also going to impact future rates and caps that are going to be available to the client. Because if they're getting money up front, that takes away from the opportunity to invest long-term with more dollars to create the opportunity for growth in the contract over the long haul. But of course, agents like compensation. So if products were designed so that agent comp was the most important thing, that's going to take away from the opportunity to provide any upfront bonus if it's available. And that's also going to cut into the opportunity for a return for the consumer in the form of a fixed rate or the opportunity for interest crediting from an indexing strategy based upon the available rates and caps at the time. But oftentimes, what I hear producers asking for is they want a product with a big upfront bonus, and they want a lot of agent comp. And if those two things are present in an insurance contract, the one area that ends up being squeezed are the rates and caps and the performance to the consumer. So we have to really think through and understand that this turkey can only be carved up so many different ways. And if we heavy load one side of the equation, it's going to impact the remaining pieces of the pie that are available to others that have to be paid in the process. Now, if we think about a lot of products that are available today, they've done away with the upfront bonus, and they're giving the client the opportunity to grow money over time. Again, a nominal cost to the insurance company for administrative cost, mortality, and a small profit per policy. But balancing those rates and caps with agent compensation to make sure that it's fair and equitable to both sides of the equation, it's really where we're trying to get as an industry today. And at the end of the day, when you think about the product that you are offering to your client, I think you and I both want to be fair. We want to be able to make a good living at what we do, but at the same time, we want to make sure that we're giving the client the best opportunity available to enjoy a good rate of return over the long haul for their money. Now, it's important to remember that at the end of the day, the client is your guest at the table. And at the end of each anniversary year, you're going to have an opportunity to sit down with your client. And if you sold them a client-centric product that's going to pay you fair compensation, that is going to give them an opportunity for growth in their contract over time, you're going to have an opportunity every year or every other year, depending on the strategy that you've selected, to sit down with them and say, hey, congratulations. You get to take a bow because you've been acting in your client's best interest and providing a product for them that meets their needs. If, on the other hand, you're more focused on making sure that it's about you and you're asking for the highest comp product that's available, or you're selling big bonus, big compensation that ends up hurting the client in later years, then at every anniversary, you're going to end up having to say, I'm sorry. And I think at the end of the day, you'd rather be on the left side of the equation than the right. By being able to select a product and being able to utilize a fixed indexed annuity solution that's going to have good rates and caps for the clients, not just this year, but next year and the years that follow, versus selling something that takes care of you first and the client side. Now, at Vision Advisors, we're all about helping you find client-centric solutions, solutions that are going to give your clients an opportunity for decent rates and caps, not just today, but tomorrow and the next day and the next year and the next year, versus the types of products that we've had.